Okay, this week I've chosen something that causes a lot of confusion: apple trees. Firstly, we've got 3 apples here, 3 trees, potted up last year, all ready for sale now, but they all look exactly the same. So somebody will come along and say, well, what's the difference? It all depends on what rootstock we've got. The rootstock is that section there, that bit there, from what the top is grafted onto the rootstock. So it depends how vigorous the rootstock is. This is an M9. This is an M9 rootstock. So this one will grow to about, this tree here will grow to 6 to 8 feet. So it's suitable for pots, small gardens. 6 to 8 feet is not too bad a tree. You can reach it quite easily. Next one along, because we do three different types. This one is M26, which is slightly bigger again, that's about 8 to 10 feet. So slightly bigger, up to sort of much higher, sort of small step ladder to get to the very top ones. And then finally, bear in mind that one actually, the M9 actually needs staking. That's the main thing. So you must need staking all its life. If you want something, if you're just doing an orchard and you want them planting, 5 or 6 meters apart, and you're just putting them in grass in the field, that sort of thing, and you want them to freestand on their own, then you go for the common one, which is MM106, which is 10, 13, even up to 15 feet. So that's the most vigorous tree that we sell. That's the common tree that's normally you see everywhere. That's the middle size, and that's the small size. Even though they all look the same, that is what you get for your money. They're all the same price anyway, but it just depends on what rootstock you're using. And quite often what we found is, what I've done with apple trees is, years ago we used to buy in finished container grown trees, which is basically a plant grown in a pot for a year, off a specialist nursery. This didn't work because the varieties, these nurseries are all in Worcestershire and Middle England places, and they grew well up there, but they were absolutely hopeless for Cornwall. So what we did many years ago was we made a list on our website now of all the varieties we've got so far. It will be added to, and occasionally some get taken off, but it will be added to every year, of all the varieties that will grow well in Cornwall. Because from Truro down is, this horrible damp weather all the time, is you're going to get scab, you're going to get canker if you're not careful, if you choose the wrong variety. I get people bringing in little leaves and apples all the time, and mostly it's basically the wrong variety. What we do, I've got some, we do 3 Cornish varieties. I did go through the Cornish varieties, so I get asked an awful lot for that. They say, why haven't you got a big selection of Cornish varieties? Mainly because I did go through, a friend of mine brought down a load of them years ago, and he brought a whole tray full of them, all labelled up, all individually labelled. And the only 3 I found that was any good for me, for taste-wise, was Dragona King, Cornish Aromatic, and Cornish Gillyflower. Those were the 3 that tasted the best. So those are the 3 we stick to. But other varieties, that are very, very disease resistant. Some of my favourites, you've got Sunset, which is a fantastic tasting one. You've got Ashmead's Kernel, which is a good keeper that you can keep till probably next March. Ashmead's Kernel, you've got, what else have we got? Hereford's Russet. They're 3 of my favourite ones, and they taste absolutely fantastic. Pollination is the other thing that gets very complicated as well. Everybody gets very complicated on that. Most of them, there are a few that self-fertile, but on the whole you do need 2 trees in your garden for cross-pollination, unless you've got trees in next door neighbour's garden, or you've got malice trees, crab apple trees, that sort of thing. But on the whole, what you get on each label is you'll get a flowering group on the side there. It says free. Well, basically a 2 will go with a free, a 4 will go with a free. The bulk of them are free. Where I can, I just stick to free. So basically when you come in, you can pick any 2 trees that you take the fancy to, and just put those in your garden, and then you've got cross-pollination for it as well. That's about it on the apple trees. If you want a list of the entire list on our website, we've got our list. I think I've just mentioned that. On the website is the list of all the trees that will do well in Cornwall. It's you really got to stick to those if you want any success down here. Bear in mind that anything that grows in below this graph, that's the graph there, anything like that you prune off. Don't let anything grow on that, same as the acers the other week. Make sure they're taken off. Any more information, there's always people here to ask anyway.